Hey, g'day, how you going? Well, welcome to the middle of autumn in Melbourne, Australia. It is pretty cold outside, as you can tell, and I'm downstairs in the garage because a couple of, well, no, it was about a month ago I saw Brian's videos on lasers, excellent videos by the way, and he had a little section there about a haze machine versus a fog machine, so I thought, this looks like something I should have. So I investigated. What's the difference between a haze machine, a fog machine, and I've now heard the word phaser. So what's the difference? Well, I did a bit of looking around and found out. So here's what I know, which is not a lot, but it's something. Okay, here we have two 700 watt machines. That is your standard smoke machine. That is a 700 watt phaser. Now what's the difference? Not a lot basically. They use exactly the same fluid, except this one here is nearly twice the size of that, because basically it's a fog machine with a fan in it. Nice big opening there for the smoke to come out, and basically between the opening and here is nothing except a fan. So it's basically that size with a fan on the end of it. That's all it is, that's the difference. And you can see, well, you know the size of the opening on a standard smoke machine. Tiny little nozzle compared to a nice big mouth with a fan in it. So why is that so good, you're asking? Well, I'll show you in a minute. Alright, so what have I found out about the difference between a haze machine, a phaser, and a fog machine? Okay. If you haven't seen Brian's video yet, go and have a look at Brian's video on the haze machines. Basically they're oil based, they don't use a heater, they use a spray pump which condenses the oil, so there's no warm-up time with a hazer machine. Turn it on, it works straight away, no warm-up time. Oil based, so it hangs in the air a lot longer, it's a lot lighter than a normal water-based fog machines. It's a lot noisier, and it takes a long time to fill a room with a standard haze machine. And the cost, we're talking Australian dollars, about $600 for a haze machine, oil-based haze machine. If I had the money, I'd probably buy one of these, but I don't have spare $600. So that's where the phaser comes in. It's an in-between a haze machine and a fog machine. Basically, like I said, it's exactly the same as a fog machine, except it's got that wide opening and a fan, which will basically disperse the fog into a lot wider area, let's say. I mean, how often have you been at a gig and you'll pump the fog out and everyone's going, people don't like it. So this is where the phase machine is good. It'll blow it out in a much bigger area, it's not concentrated. Now, the thing about your phaser and a fog machine is, what do you want it to do? Like with a fog machine, they were originally designed for theatrical purposes, for exactly as it says, to make it look like a fog. Right? They're selling the effect of the fog. Now, as a DJ, I don't want that. I want a machine that's going to make my light beams visible. I don't want people to see fog. I just want them to see the light beams. So that's where the hazes are a lot better. Like I say, I can't afford a haze machine, so I've bought a phase machine. So let's have a look at these things running, shall we? Okay, let's see if we can get these things to look any good. Now, obviously with the remote control, it has a timer, continuous, and a manual function. Now, I actually used this at a gig last night and had it set with the timer. Now, if you press timer, then you can control the interval and the amount of the volume of fluid that comes out, which is great because as soon as you get in, I have it set on very low, so it starts filling the room very early. because it does take a while for it to build up. Now that's set on low interval, so it should come on pretty soon, and minimum amount of volume. So we'll just see what comes out when it's set on minimum. Now also, you've obviously got continuous. If I press that, it'll just pump out continuous, and then there's a manual button as well. So if I want some extra smoke, I just hit the manual button and it'll pump out some extra smoke for me. Right, did you see that? That was set on minimum amount of volume. That's about halfway. That's maximum. So you can see it shoots out quite a bit of smoke if you want to use it as a smoke machine, as well as the haze machine. What about a front-on view? Okay, this is just manual mode. It'll pump it out if that's the effect you want. Like I say, that's not what you want. At the gig, I'll have it set right down low and start it early and just have that little haze coming out the whole night. Compared to this one. Now that's not what I want. That is not what I want. That is fog. And as you can see, it doesn't really make the light look that good because all I can see is smoke. And that's not what I want. It's too concentrated. Whereas the fan in the phaser disperses it a lot better, and it just fills the room with a nice gentle light smoke rather than a big puff of fog. So again, phase, fog. In my opinion, the fog machine's a distraction. I don't want to see the fog, I want to see the lighting effect. Does that make sense? Now that thing cost me about $250 compared to a haze machine, which was going to cost me about $600. And of course your standard fog machine, you can pick them up for like $100. So that's a pretty good buy. It's a good in between. So if you're in the market for a new smoke machine, I suggest that you actually have a look at what we are calling a phase machine. Alright, I think that's all I got for now, so practice and enjoy.